Welcome to your morning inspiration and the Tao of the day. Hello, everybody. This is Martin John. I love you guys. Hope you're doing well. Happy New Year. If I haven't spoken to you or if you haven't heard me yet, I'm hoping you are having a great 2022. What an auspicious year we have. So much 1111 here. There's two 1111s here in 2022, and looking forward to such a great year for each and every one of us. This is Tao of the Day, and I'm inviting you to step up and pick a number between 1 and 81, and I will read your Tao for the day until somebody wants to come on. I'm going to go ahead and start with, we have two people here. Bridget's first. We're going to go ahead and, I don't know if it's Bridget actually. There's more letters in there than I was expecting. Um, is
Good
it
morning. It's
good?
pronounced Brigitte.
Brigitte. Is that right?
Yes.
Oh man, what a nice fun name. Whoa,
Thank you.
whoa, man. And where are you at?
I am in Maryland.
Maryland.
Yes.
Maryland, in and around Baltimore.
Yep, exactly. The Catonsville, Baltimore area.
Oh well, beautiful. Like I gotta say, Nina Simone's version of Baltimore makes me cry every time.
Wow.
I'm assuming you know that, yeah.
Yeah, I've heard a few people say that before. Yeah, but I have not listened myself, and I know it probably sound like what, but I will make sure I listen today.
You gotta get in on that. That is
Yes.
it's a heartstring puller.
Okay.
Yeah, written by Randy Newman. He's just a great lyricist, but his version of it, like his singing, isn't as soulful as Nina
Okay.
Simone's, and so I would when we get off here, I would love for you to check that. It's yeah, man, I'm gonna tear up right now.
Wow. Okay, I'll definitely do that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Brigitte, give me a number between 1 and 81.
75.
75. Do you know the Tao? Do you know the Tao Te Ching?
No.
No. Okay, the Tao Te Ching is an ancient text that translates to the canon of reason, and it was written in 600 BC by a guy, Lao Tzu. He was leaving his municipality because he was sick of the direction of the way things were going, and he wrote this text, and it's kind of, could be seen as the basis of Taoism, but it's not religious text. It is about reason. It's about living a reasonable life.
Hmm.
And so these chapters are very, very short, and this one is only 6 lines. And so what we're going to do is we're going to read through it. Then you and I would love to get then an understanding of what you hear here, and then we'll go through it line by line and talk about like what it has to offer.
Okay.
All right. So 75 is when taxes are too high, people go hungry. When the government is too intrusive, people lose their spirit. Act for the people's benefit. Trust them. Leave them alone. What are your thoughts there?
Can you read that again?
Oh, yeah. When the taxes are too high, people go hungry. When the government is too intrusive, people lose their spirit. Act for the people's best. Act for the people's benefit. Trust them. Leave them alone.
Okay, so um I flow prophetically. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I'm hearing is when things are too much, people lack. They
Mm-hmm.
they're not able to pull on what they need because it appears that it's not even there for them. When I'm hearing about the government, um, it's all entwined through the government of it's a purpose and a plan to break people down to not have to lack and then to act for the people. I know that I'm a voice for people. I'm a leader in the community. I'm a leader within my ministry. And so it's just all in timing for me to hear that because I was sitting here talking to the Lord about my purpose and what it is that I need to do. What is it that I'm missing? What is it that I'm lacking? What am I not completing? And so I have to speak up. I have to be the voice. I've always been a bold person, but yet uncomfortable when it was time to move in it because of rejection and what people would think of me. But I'm hearing now that I need to more than ever go to a higher rise of speaking up and speaking out and pouring into people and then walking away from it. Don't look
Damn
back.
right. Mm-hmm.
Don't
That's
look
right.
back. Don't look back to see if it made a difference or not. Just know within my spirit that I've made an impact, and my purpose is to shed light and to be a light carrier. And so I am to see the problem, I am to pray about it, I am to pour, and I am to walk away and go to the next.
That's right. You know, like so many of us in the world, like we put things in the world and then we want to babysit them in the hands of other people.
Yeah.
You know, we want to, no, let me make sure you got it the way I wanted you to get it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, so much of that gets in the way of our being able to let these things live. You know, I'm an artist, and and I've moved my art career into the healing realm. And so I do portraits of people. And so much of, and it's just part of my healing modality. And so much of what I do with people is like, I want to put something in your hands and I want to let you run with it.
Mm-hmm.
Because really, I just want to inspire you to get to that place that you need to go. I don't know where that is. I can
Mm-hmm.
never know where you're going or what you're hearing. So many of us that have messages want people to understand the message the way we're giving it, but they
Yeah.
can never understand that because they're not us. But
Yeah.
they
You
can
know,
understand it from their perspective. And if we could just let go, to let them and trust them, they are of God as well.
yeah. You know, it's funny, so when I wake up, oftentimes there's different songs in my spirit. As I said, I flow prophetically. I'm a prophetic worshiper, and I hear a song I listen to often, actually, that's by India Ari. I heard her singing, and it's just, I am light.
Mm,
And I just keep, I am light, I am light. I just keep hearing, I am
beautiful.
light, I am light. And just keep hearing it. So if we remember, we are the light, we are a reflection of Christ. And so, if He is the light of the world, then that means He has imparted inside of us the same light for us to then continue to pass it out. And so, if we just focus on being a light and not a light taker, not shadowing and shading people, but just
Mhm.
being a light everywhere that we go to make an impact, to make a difference. Not about it's fulfilling a emptiness in us, but just the purpose of being a light in someone else's life,
Mhm.
a light to pass on a word. It's just a simple smile can light up someone's life. And I have in the signature of my email at my job, I tell people it takes more muscles to frown than it does to smile. So if we just be a light, God will give us the instruction of what it is that we need to do to move forward. I really needed this morning. It's very encouraging and freeing, and I appreciate you for even coming in and talking about this today. Um,
You picked the number.
yeah, I did pick the number, and I'm just this is really helpful for me. It really is. Thank
All
you
right.
so much.
So I'm gonna start going through this line by line. We got 7 minutes. I think we can get through this. But
Okay.
so what it starts with is when taxes are too high, people go hungry. So what I see here is interesting because so many things tax us.
Mm-hmm.
So many things tax us. Then when we look at the end here, like this idea that like trust them, leave them alone, the people's benefit, right? Like we have to
Yeah.
trust the people, we have to leave them alone. How much does it tax us to actually make sure that they get the message the way we're trying to deliver it,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's even more taxing on us.
Mm-hmm.
We're the ones that are going to go hungry
Yeah.
because we're not trusting in God, Tao, the universe, whatever you want to call it, right? We're not trusting that they have that within them. We're saying,
Mm-hmm.
no, I need to put this in you.
Mm-hmm.
And how I don't know how egregious is that to the Almighty? How egregious is that to be like, if light is within you, light is within them? I mean, I work with a lot of people from addiction, so I got 21 years clean and sober, and a large aspect of what I talk about is like recovering to something, recovering
Mm-hmm.
yourself, and understanding that like your message is coming through God And so you can deliver that message and it will be delivered the way it needs to be, even if
Yeah.
it's not the way you want it to be.
Yeah. Hmm.
So, so what are your thoughts on the taxes are too high?
That's definitely true in what you're saying. Everyone is taxed behind it,
Hmm.
numerous times. But I do want to take a pause really quick and just um, congratulate you on what it is that you're accomplishing in your years of being sober. That is nothing but God, and I bless God that He freed you from that. That's amazing. That is amazing.
It's a, you know, it's a gift that I keep. That like I love to think that I'm living on borrowed time, and so every
Hmm.
moment of my life is a gift that I get to, keep giving. You know.
Yeah, 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 yeah. You know, with the tax, what you were talking about, the taxing, I also hear that though those things are in place right now, if we look at it different, it will look different. And looking at it different, it will cause us to shift in our way of thinking and how we move in it in the
Hmm.
process. And so, last night I posted something basically saying when things appear to be coming against you, remember that the plane takes off against the wind and not in it.
Right.
And so if we look at it differently, it will hit different. And so it's all still back in our lap of how we respond and how we move in it, what we can do to make the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that goes down to spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's brings us into the next line, which is when the government is too intrusive, people lose their spirit.
Yeah. Yeah. When things are too much, you can lose your spirit and you fall in spirit. And that's when we take and we go deep down within the inside of us and we pull out the strength, we pull out Holy Spirit. And some days it is rougher than others. But when you have an amazing group of people around you to help pull you up when you have a day of being down, that helps. But when you're broke in the spirit, sometimes it is hard to come back from that. It can be a lot. And that's when, for myself, when I surround myself with music, I put on my worship, I put on inspirational, and I pull on the gifts that's inside of me to allow the healing to help me through that process. But when a broken spirit, it can be rough.
And like it's saying here that people lose their spirit when the government is too intrusive. And yes, this is talking about government in terms of like gubernatorial sort of things. But
Right.
what I like to look at is what is government, right? What is government?
Hmm.
Things that are dictating how things should go, like that
Control.
subconscious, right? That
Hmm.
subconscious in your body. When that
Hmm.
subconscious part of judgment and all that gets too intrusive, you lose your spirit. when
Yeah.
when the government comes in and says this is the way you're supposed to live your life, go to school, make sure that you get your education, make sure, and yes, education is all fine and good, but it's
Right.
not, but higher education isn't for everyone.
No, it's not. Everyone, you're absolutely right with that. And sometimes people try to force something that is not the the assignment for your life. No one's life is perfect, nor no one's life is identical.
Yeah,
And
I like to
so,
say we're all unique, but I also like
yeah,
to say that don't let your definition of perfection rob you of yours.
there you go. There you go.
Because you are perfect right now as you are. I don't care if you're out there strung out on crack, you're perfect right now. And
Hmm.
now
Hmm.
now what are you going to do with that?
Right.
Whatever you do with that's going to be perfect as well, but can you make the choice
Right.
to
A
do
lot of
that
times,
in perfection?
we view perfection or success off of the next person,
Yep.
but not what God has ordained for our life.
That's
Uh,
why, yeah, that's why it's like don't let that definition affect yours.
yeah,
Like that's
yeah.
because you are right here as you are right now.
Hmm. Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, I had to stop looking at other businesses and people around me because it can pull you in and distract you. You feel like you're missing the mark. And I'm working harder to hone in on, okay, Lord, what are you saying is for my life, not for the next business, the next person. And so to put those blinders on like they put on horses and just full
Hmm.
steam ahead of looking of what I'm hearing in my spirit to do is so much of a better place of peace. And I just know not to try to slide the blinder away just to see because I don't want to compare myself to others. I've never been like other people.
That's right.
So to try to compared to others, that's the worst thing I've ever done for myself,
Hmm.
because I'm not going to be like the next person ever.
Yeah. And this comes into our last line. So if the government is the body, act for the people's benefit. Act for your benefit, like you're doing.
Hmm.
Put the blinders on. Just move forward.
Yeah.
Trust yourself. Leave yourself alone. Right. Act for the people's benefit. Trust them. Leave them
Yeah.
alone,
Yeah.
and they will flourish. They will
Right.
shine the light.
And if I can say this really quickly,
Please.
though we see government as controlling, structure is still needed. So it's all about, when we have structure in place, how we move in it. Moving by way of Holy Spirit, it won't feel like we're being controlled as long as we set the boundaries within our life. I appreciate you allowing me to come up to speak. This was great.
Oh, it's Brigitte, right?
Brigitte.
Brigitte. Okay,
Yes.
I'm gonna get that. We'll talk again, and I'm gonna try and remember that. Brigitte.
Thank you.
I love your name, and I love you. Thank you so much for coming up. So, Brigitte, right before she ended here, she was talking about, government needs structure, and that's why in the Tao here we're saying, like, when the government is too intrusive, it needs to be able to make a structure, right? All structure. We've talked about this throughout the Tao all the time, right? Like, the house is the structure. The place you live is inside, and you want that space to be able to move about. But if you were to fill that space with stuff, you encroach on yourself, you encroach on your own life. And that's just like what we're seeing here. When taxes are too high, people go hungry. You get hungry for life. You get hungry for, like, literally hungry. When the government is too intrusive, people lose their spirit. When you build that structure and then you start filling that structure with intrusiveness, you immediately start getting in the way of yourself. You start getting in the way of your life. Act in the people's benefit. Trust them, leave them alone. Brigitte, thank you so much for coming up. Thank you so much for 75. I want to invite somebody else up. Come on, anybody interested? I did have two people earlier. One person jumped off because it was a 15-minute talk. But if you're still here, I didn't recall who was there. But if anybody's there and would love to pick a number between 1 and 81, we'll talk a little Tao of the day. If not, I'm gonna go ahead and pick up. You good? Good. DJ's coming up. DJ, I'm getting all these new faces. I'm so excited. Like, I love people joining on. DJ, how you doing?
Great, thank you.
So are you familiar with the Tao Te Ching?
Uh, somewhat, yes, the I Ching, correct.
Well, not yeah. It's not the I Ching. It's a little different. It's the Tao Te Ching. It's 81 verses. So the I Ching is a little different. They both kind of point to the same place.
62,
What's that?
62.
62. Let's look at 62. 62. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to read through this, and then we'll talk about it. We'll get a little, and then we'll try and get through this line by line. Thank you so much for coming. Okay, so 62. The Tao is the center of the universe, the good man's treasure, the bad man's refuge. Honors can be bought with fine words. Respect can be won with good deeds. But the Tao is beyond all value, and no one can achieve it. Thus, when a new leader is chosen, don't offer to help him with your wealth or your expertise. Offer instead to teach him about the Tao. Why did the ancient masters esteem the Tao? Because being one with the Tao, when you seek, you find. And when you make a mistake, you are forgiven. That is why everybody loves it.
Right.
What are your thoughts?
Oh, I think it sounds like perfection,
Yes.
and a blessing to hear today.
Yeah.
I totally agree. I mean, 110%. Definitely, I would want to look more into studying the Tao. The word respect, I think, is what comes out for most for me because in my Native American culture, we have a Sundance ceremony, and that respect has to do with all living things, all our relations.
Yeah, and it's important that, like the Tao here, and it expresses that the Tao is like, it kind of steps back, is just the structure, is the space for us to be.
Right.
And so we start this verse with the Tao is the center of the universe, the good man's treasure and the bad man's refuge. I see that and I say, like a good man, when they receive the Tao, when they receive the universe, when they receive the all that is, they understand and they can exist within it as a willing participant in the whole, like not selfishly like using it for their own sort of ego. But the bad man's refuge, it's a place that the bad man can go to hide
Refuge.
within. And for the Tao to be able to present that in a neutral way, right? I'll be here for both
Right.
the good and the bad man. And
Right.
we use them differently. And you can't always tell how one uses it in differentiation from the other.
It's like the food for the soul.
Yeah.
Definitely. The soul coming alive, acceptance and non judgmentalism, it sounds like.
Yeah. And the bad man can use that in their benefit. And that's okay.
To heal, it's a
Yeah.
refuge, a safe
Yeah.
place.
Yeah.
And then it
Honor.
said
Go on.
the good man, and then it said the good man
The good man's treasure.
treasure, which someone said, "What's your New Year's resolution?" I said, "To keep breathing."
Yeah. just just keep it up.
Right.
Such a,
Keep,
it's a good one. It's a good
thank,
one. We got
thank
we
you.
got to hold tight to that. I'm glad you're sticking to your resolution, love.
Happened this morning.
Look at you every
Good
day.
job. I loved it, and I loved the previous reading or explanation. These are it, just, it almost creates that smile like she was talking about. I was trying to pronounce her name too. It was really beautiful.
Brigitte. Yeah, I think I got it wrong again. I'll get it eventually. Yeah.
We'll work on that.
Yeah. So the
Well, I'm
next
glad you.
verse,
Go ahead.
yeah, the next verse states, honors can be bought with fine words. Respect can be won with good deeds. But
Mhm.
the Tao is beyond all value, and no one can achieve it.
Hmm. So does that just mean you keep striving to achieve it?
Maybe. See, like,
I mean,
as we're looking at this, we like honors can be bought with fine words, respect can be won with good deeds. Like that's ego, right? Like that's like that
true.
sits in the
Mhm.
body, right? That sits
Right.
in the body and in the
Right.
mind, right? Like this idea that like, oh, I could I could honor you with great words and I can respect you I can gain respect. I can gain honor by saying the right thing. I can gain respect by doing the right thing. But the
Ah.
but the Tao is beyond all value. Like it is not working within the manifestation. Like here in the three-dimensional world,
Uh huh.
we can um we can lie. We can manipulate. We can do all of these things. Like we can buy honors. I mean, we're seeing it in the world today where like, so many people like are able to buy influence, like
Right.
literally, right?
Right.
And but the Tao is beyond all value. It
Mm-hmm.
is so valuable. It has no value. Like
Right.
to from one person to the next, like between you and I, the Tao may have enormous value,
Mm-hmm.
and for another person it has no value.
Isn't
And
that
what's that?
isn't that true?
Yeah. Like
Yes.
just like, like, I mean, if you look at people who like embrace like religion, like let's look at just like religion in the United States, which is, that's our history, right? Like we are a religious country. And as the United States stands, you're
Right.
in the
Right.
Native American traditions, like I wouldn't call it religious, right? I don't know, like I don't know how that would translate, but
Spirituality.
yeah,
Right.
spirituality and connectedness, right? Like you guys kind of like
Yeah.
from my experience. I mean, I've gone to a number of Lakota things and stuff, and
Oh
so
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
good.
like I'm in Chicago, so like there's a Lakota Center here, and so
Right.
I've known a number of people that were
Sun
Lakota.
dancers.
Yeah. So this concept of honors can be bought with fine words, respect can be won with good deeds, but the Tao is beyond all value. No one can achieve it, and that's the thing. Like no one can achieve it because it is beyond this. It
It's
is
on the
more.
other side.
Yeah, it's not like it's not until you pass that you can be in the
I get
Tao.
it. Exactly. 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 Because that's where the existence. I've crossed over once in childbirth. It came back. I did choose to come back, and that's what was so phenomenal. Is that it's our choice.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, it's our choice completely.
Now, I've spoken to so many people, myself included, who,
Hmm.
as children, we, at some point, we remember, wait, this isn't, this isn't my experience, right? Like we remember a past life. We remember who we
This
were.
is true. Right.
So many people that I interact with get
Huh.
to get to have that experience, and it's so beautiful to remember who we were and not grasp at it. We it's like a dream, but we know there's this deep knowing.
Very much so. That's our
Yeah.
soul to me. That's our soul existence, recalling that to me there's no beginning and no end. There always is and always was. And
Yeah.
so we're like a complete circle in the sense that our soul is that circle. I shared with the lady was asking me about crossing over, and I said, well, I was an orb. I love it. I mean, you
Mhm.
can travel a lot faster.
Yeah.
You don't have to think that you're carrying this body. I said, it's going to be quite hilarious. I said, my first experience was with it. Oh, creator, you're a man and a woman. I love it. How did you do that?
Right. It's a and it's such a like that's the thing. Like we look at religion. I mean, if we look at the Roman Catholic religion, like God separated something from man to make woman, and we've been trying to get back together ever since.
Exactly. I know. Like when you mentioned that, I thought, oh, yeah, I think my people were granted, talk about a country, founded on freedom of religion, but they didn't give
Oh
us,
God.
this
Yeah.
people or Native Americans, freedom until I think it was 19. What was, I know
and
we,
and 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 it's that's only on the books, right? You can respect can be won with good deeds, honors can be bought with fine words. Like that's not
right,
like
exact.
it's not there's not truth behind it, right? This is why the Tao could be the bad man's refuge as
I
well.
like the Dell. I do like that. I'll have
Yeah.
to do some more research. And
Well, if you reach out to me on Instagram or my website, I can send you the link to English translations of the Tao. I'd be happy to.
okay, you're
Yeah, I got
Martin
links here.
John Garcia.
Yeah, I have links here. If you go to my profile, you can find me on all sorts of different outlets. So the
I
next
will.
verse, the next line says, "Thus, when a new leader is chosen, don't offer to help him with your wealth or your expertise. Offer instead to teach him about the Tao."
Right.
Because that's what we need. We need leaders. Like we were talking in the last verse that we read, number 75. We were saying that, like government is too intrusive, people lose their spirit. Like leave the people alone. If you are the leader, let people be where they are.
Right.
Understand your heart. Not I don't want to offer you help because I know something or because I
Right.
have money.
Hey, right, right. Offer that part of allowing I don't say free choice, but for the soul and the spirit to be alive, where we all benefit.
Right. Be alive within you, the leader. Be alive within you, someone who can affect other people.
Right. Be
And
that
the
role
way
model.
and
Mhm.
the right. Be an
Like Leon
inspiration.
Shenandoah, like Leon Shenandoah did with the
Yes.
leader of the Iroquois Confederacy. He was that way, and where the Haganagas, the women, back to my culture too, where
Hmm.
in the ancient day, we were matriarchal, where Leon Shenandoah sharing how he was not taken, but it was an honor for his family to have him live with the grandmother clan, so he could learn that, so he could learn what and be intuitive about what was best for people as a
Right.
leader, not a dictator, but a leader.
Yeah. And then you can, like you can allow the people to and understand that the people have the light within them as well.
Exactly.
And so you can leave them
Exactly.
alone in trusting them with
Trusting
the
them.
best
Hmm.
interest
Hmm.
when you leave them alone.
Correct.
Like the last one we read said when you're too intrusive, they break their spirit.
That's right.
And when you can
Right.
leave them alone, their spirit gets to flourish in happiness and love.
That's what people are basically, to me, why we are here on this plane. Why
Right.
are here learning these lessons, so we can have that realizing that we're not disconnected from anything.
That's right. And that brings us right into the last verse here, which is why did the ancient masters esteem the Tao? Because being one with the Tao, when you seek, you find.
I like that.
And when you make a mistake, you are forgiven.
Right.
This is why everybody loves it.
Right. This is beautiful. What great day. Great way to start the day.
Yes, Tao of the Day is always a great way to start the day. And I really appreciate you coming on, DJ. And thank you for 62. What a wonderful way to do this. I'm on here weekdays around this time, weekdays. So
Okay.
definitely join me again.
I will. I will.
And reach out to me
I
somewhere
will.
in
And
the
get that
social
link.
media for a link
Hmm.
because there's a Terabis website, terabis.hu, and I'll send you a link to a myriad of different
Wonderful. Thank you.
translations.
Thank you. Do you go by Martin John or
I do, yeah.
okay?
Thank you so much. Have a
You have
wonderful day.
you have one too, sir. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Hmm.
And we're gonna bring Catherine on. My buddy Catherine. She's gonna pick a number between 1 and 81 for me. Hello, my dear. I didn't hear that.
14.
14. 14. We're going to 14 now. I gotta hurry up and reset. I didn't reset while I was waiting for you to come on. I was just excited about having you on.
I know.
I know you're in a hurry.
No, I just like 14. I was like, I thought of other numbers and then I was like, is that the number? And then it was like 14. And I was
14.
like, okay, 14
All
then.
right. Look,
That
all right.
wasn't the
Well
other
gone.
numbers I was trying to pick, by the way, or close to any of the numbers I was trying to pick.
Yeah, it's good. Let's like look and it can't be seen, listen and it can't be heard, reach and it can't be grasped. Above, it isn't bright, below, it isn't dark, seamless and unnamable. It returns to the realm of nothing. Form that includes all form, image without an image, subtle beyond all conception. Approach it and there is no beginning, follow it and there is no end. You can't know it, but you can be it at ease in your own life. Just realize where you came from. This is the essence of wisdom.
I feel like we've either read this one before or one that has similar lines to it or a few that have similar lines to this.
Yeah, this one definitely. Some of the concepts in here definitely are repeated throughout the Tao, especially the look and it can't be seen sort.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I have read 14 before. There's only like eight eight chapters or eight sections that I haven't read on here, but I don't know if we did this together. So
I like this one.
yeah, I like this. Approach it, and there is no beginning. Follow it, and there is no end. You
Mm-hmm.
can't know it, but you can be it.
Yep.
right? Like I think you and I have spoken before, whether it's, on here or offline, like this concept of you can't know it but you can be it, like trying to grasp it. It's
Yes.
like you lose it, right? Trying to grasp at something, and that's something that you've been really helping me a lot with like just this recognizing where are you trying.
Mm-hmm. Like even like the number today. Like I was like, what would be a good number? And so I came up with like 63 and I was like, oh, I like the number 22. I should do 22. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to just close my eyes for a second and say, what should be the number I do? And then it was like 14. I was
Yeah.
like, okay. And then I said, okay, it's 14. Like, what about 63? And it was like 14. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay,
Okay.
then I guess
Oh.
we're doing 14. I had
Yeah.
other ideas though, I will say.
Well, let's go through this. So the first section is look, it can't be seen, listen, it
Mm-hmm.
can't be heard, reach, and it can't be grasped.
Yep.
I think you can express that really well. What are your thoughts?
It's we try so hard, we expect, we want things to be obvious. It's eh, we get frustrated with things not coming together the way we want, or just something to like show me the way. Come on, people. And the more that you look, the less you can see it because
Yeah.
we get into this thing of almost like a desperate, needy energy, which if you meet a person like that, most people are like, ugh.
Right.
And so, because it's just so thick and so heavy, if you imagine it as like a physical thing that you can see or like feel there that bumps into you. So, imagine that as the energy that you're carrying when you're trying so hard, or you're like, okay, I'm relaxed, but I really want a signal. Well, you're still really needing it. And so it creates that. And so, it's fog or thickness. And our intuition is just this like light as a feather. And if it can't move within that, you can't see it. You can't feel it because you're so busy trying to feel it and see it.
Right. You're looking. Like
Yeah.
you're not going to be able to find it if you're looking. You're not going to be able to hear it if you're listening. You have to just let it go.
Mm-hmm.
And once you can let it go, it all becomes within reach. I had this experience as a child, and I don't know what it was, but maybe it was dreams where every time I tried to reach for something, it was always just out of reach, just out of reach, just out of reach. And when I would relax, it would come near. And I think this reminds me of like floaters in my eyes, right?
Oh
So
yeah.
like every time you try and look at a floater, it
Yeah.
like it moves, right? Like
Yeah.
those little squiggles in your eyeballs, right? Like every time you try to look at it, it just moves out of the way and you can't see it. But but when you relax, it like and you just like soften your gaze, it just kind of then you can focus on it without looking directly at it.
Mm-hmm. And it's a tough thing to do. It is not a simple thing to do. And this is one of the parts of intuition that I tell people is that it's not about being so perfect that you're always able to be relaxed and see it and hear it 100% of the time, every single day for the rest of your life once you get it the one time.
Right.
You're always going to be thrown off a little bit. You're always going to, know how to reconnect. And I would think of it as a sports person. The person who wins the gold in the Olympics, they don't go, well, I won a gold. Next Olympics, I'll just show up.
Right.
I mean,
Like I'm a gold medal winner.
yeah,
Like,
they're like, I know how to do the best. It's been done. I'm just going to show up and still be as amazing as I am. No, they practice probably even harder.
right, because now they're on the top and they want to stay there, and they got
Well,
more
no,
people
it's
trying to.
not because they're on the top, but because if you're not always practicing, if you're not always, able to do it when it's a bad day or when things are stressful, things are happening in your life, then that's what you're practicing for.
Right.
That's why you're practicing. It's not because you don't want to stay on the top. It's because it's easy on the days when nothing major is happening and you're in the flow. But, I can't remember who the figure skater was, but I guess her father had a heart attack or, something major happened the day that she was going on the ice.
Mm.
And I think it was the final thing. And she pulled it off and did amazing. But because she practiced every day, life happens every day.
That's right.
And so you know how to rebalance yourself. You know how to be in that focus. It's not about being perfect. It's not about outdoing someone. It's about knowing how to be with yourself, be in alignment, be in that focus of, relaxing yourself no matter what's happening around you.
And I love that because, like, for me, even though I know I just signed up for a retreat, I usually shy away from retreats because life happens while you're living. You know,
Yes.
like like it, I'm what my goal is for my retreat is to be able to not retreat from my life so I can get a break, so I can learn something so that I can do my life better, so I
Mm-hmm.
can learn something about me that will help me be quieter in my life so I don't look, listen, and reach, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
so all of those things can fall into place. But usually, I mean, like for my life in general, like the idea of retreating from the chaos of what life can bring is not my MO. It used to be when I was an addict and stuff, but now with all of this time, like I really want to be here present right now with what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing and so it's kind of tricky business.
It is. It is. And then we get into this next section, which is paradoxical at times, where it says, above it isn't bright, below it isn't dark, seamless, unnamable. It returns to the realm of nothing. Form that includes all form, image without an image, subtle beyond all conception.
Yes. That
So
is
that is the thing that we are looking that when we look we can't be seen, and when we listen can't be heard, and when we reach can't be grasped. It is this brightness. It isn't bright. It isn't dark. It's unnamable. It returns to the realm of nothing.
that's intuition. I mean, that's a great description. Can you send that to me and then I can just say that when people ask me what intuition is?
Yes, it isn't bright, it isn't dark, it's seamless, unnamable. It returns to the realm of nothing as soon as it's done presenting itself, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
form that includes all form, so it is in everything.
Yep.
Image without an image, what you see without having to see it, and
Yep.
subtle beyond all conception.
Yeah, that's intuition. What else? I mean, I feel like dun dun, you know.
And seen.
Yeah. Mic drop. Boom.
Yes, and butter.
I mean, that is intuition because we all experience it differently. It isn't as though I saw the number 14 and it showed up on the wall where everyone can see it.
Right.
No, it showed up like a huge number in my head and then it was like 14.
Hmm.
No one else experienced that than me. It's one of those things. It isn't something you can explain. It isn't an experience that you have exactly the same every time with every single person, all of the time, in every single same circumstance. It is the ether, the energy that cannot be explained. And
Yeah.
it was interesting for me having to really understand that because people would say, what do you do? Especially when I was out in the world and not talking about intuition.
Right.
And I struggled so much because I couldn't explain it.
Yeah.
And that was my pain point of struggle was, I was like, how do I explain what it is I do? How do I explain this to people? And then I, realized that that was the point.
Hmm.
I can't explain to you what I do or how I do it. Like you're either in it or you're not.
Right. And one of the words that stands out to me really strong in this section is seamless.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It is within the fold of everything all the time. And
Yep.
yet it is like constantly returning to the realm of nothing. It's like it is seamless in here, and it's always there. And the moment we look, we can't see it.
Yeah, I mean, I think of it as, plug in the wall.
Right.
You don't realize it's there until you plug in and the light goes on in your phone, or the battery thing starts showing up, or the light bulb turns on.
Right.
Otherwise, you don't really think much about it.
Yeah. Then it goes on to say, approach it and there is no beginning, follow it and there is no end. I love that as it relates to um, intuition,
Mm-hmm.
because it's just
It is.
there.
Yep.
And if you follow it, like, yeah, just like it's beautiful. Like, yeah, it's just present.
Well, and I talk about the path so much. I talk about like these stones that imagine have these little LED lights on them, and then when it's your turn to take the next step, it's like boom,
Yeah.
it lights up. But there, if you turned around and looked back, there would be no end to the path. It would just keep going. If you turn and you look forward, it's there's always another beautiful stone that's going to show up for you. It's never ending.
Right. You can't know it, but you can be it at ease in your own life.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, literally, that's what I say. Be at ease with yourself,
Right.
because you cannot experience it unless you are kind to yourself. If you're at ease with yourself, it's not possible.
Yeah, and the only reason that you would look, listen, or reach for it is because you're afraid it's not going to be there.
Yep. Yep.
Just realize where you come from. This is the essence of wisdom.
Mic drop. Boom.
Mic drop once again. Man, Catherine, you are so beautiful. Thank you so much for 14. Thank your intuition for 14. It was good for me today to read this because, like, I grasp. I definitely grasp.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. Trust
Yeah.
me. They're still my days, but I feel like I've got the freedom more. I feel like I'm on the higher level of my finally reached my figure skating part where now I just practice more.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it is a journey, that's for sure. And the struggle is real. The looking for it is so real. You hear it all the time. And
Yeah.
it's not the easiest thing to maneuver out of that into just the expecting and knowing that you can reach for it whenever you need it. Love you, my friend.
Mm, many, many kisses for you, my love. Yes, it is. There's, I was talking to someone this morning. I was just chatting with a friend of mine in Chile, and we were talking about, like, she feels like she's grown so much emotionally in her life. And I was like, I do too. I'm always doing that. And then I talked about this idea that, it comes and goes. It's not like it goes away, but you deal with it on another level, right? You're always dealing with these things on different levels. Oh, the queen is going to join me. I know you have had some COVID issues. I think you have had some COVID issues. How are you doing?
Hi there.
How are you feeling?
Meh,
Meh.
meh.
Well, let's see if we can raise that a little bit. I'm sorry that you're still
Well,
in the.
I'm alright. Like, I mean, I'm listening to music and that, raise the
Yeah,
vibes. But
yeah,
when I
absolutely.
cough, I'm like, damn it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's the only time when I'm like cursing.
Okay, well, let's see. Do you have a number for me?
8.
8. Beautiful. Okay, let's see what your Tao for the day is. The supreme good is like water, which nourishes all things without trying to. It is content with the low places that people disdain, thus it is like the Tao. In dwelling, live close to the ground. In thinking, keep to the simple. In conflict, be fair and generous. In governing, don't try to control. In work, do what you enjoy. In family life, be completely present. When you are content to simply be yourself and don't compare or compete, everybody will respect you.
Yep.
So, what are your initial thoughts?
Well, although competition is one thing, I'm like, that's one thing I would just, what I don't, competition, it's not that I'm competing with them, but it's more like I want to improve the situation, which is
Yeah.
different.
You know,
Yeah.
competition, some people like competition is just a part of interacting. It's a part of the way that we show love and appreciation. It's not,
Yeah.
like for me, competition is like low on my list. But I can engage in competition in different ways.
Yeah.
I can engage in it, through, my connectedness or by activating a situation or, just by being adaptable. Like I can engage in competition, but when I feel it's competition, I often just get turned off. But
Yeah.
yeah. So the supreme good is like water, which nourishes all things without trying to. How in your life do you nourish things without even trying?
Just be your loving self.
Yeah. And you just be here present, and things around you just get nourished on their own.
Yeah.
And you don't need to try. You don't need to go out there and say, oh, you need nourishing. Right? Like water doesn't say, oh, this plant needs more nourishing than this other plant, so I'm just going to reign over this. It goes everywhere, and everything equally gets nourished. It doesn't, like, which nourishes all things, right? Like if you go out and put all of your energy on nourishing, you know, three people, and everything that interacts with them, you're trying to control to make sure that these three people like get their nourishment. Like you're actually keeping nourishment from keeping your ability to nourish, because it's very possible that just by being ourselves without having to direct what we do, we can affect the world at large, which would then nourish the three people that we want to nourish even more.
Mm-hmm.
And it is content with the low places that people disdain. Thus it is like the Tao. Sorry. Here you are coughing. Low places that people disdain. Water goes down to the bottom. It's always falling. And it's good to be underneath, I think it's good to put yourself, to be humble in the face of other people and other things. In dwelling, live close to the ground. In thinking, keep to the simple. I really like that idea. In thinking, keep to the simple. I think sometimes I get a little too complex. Are you coughing? You are muted. You
Yeah.
may be
I
coughing.
just need
Yeah,
to. I need
I'm
to.
sorry. I'm
No
just,
problem. Don't be sorry.
yeah. Like I
I'm
know,
the one
like I've been,
coughing.
I've like over the last week or so, since like I noticed that you had the COVID thing, and I was sending out some energy for you and stuff, and
Thank
so
you.
I'm glad
Yeah.
I'm glad to be contacted again.
Yeah. I'm better. It's just I know when I'm supposed to wake up in the morning, I'm like coughing like a maniac. Like,
Yeah.
yep, that's my cue to wake up.
No, but yeah, that's not fun. And is it painful?
It's not exactly painful. It's just annoying. I'm
It's
like, I
getting,
want
yeah,
sleep, man.
yeah, yeah,
God, why are you doing this to me? You're telling me to
yeah,
rest, and now you make me cough like crazy. I gotta wake up.
yeah.
Yeah, it was a good morning. I woke up before the nurses came, and yeah, He was
Sorry.
joking. The nurse was joking. He's like, "Oh my god, they didn't give you a rag. That's disgusting."
A rag.
Yeah, a rag, to put on like the cold compress. Like, they didn't give you that.
Oh.
That's disgusting. Oh, he's so funny.
Well,
Uh,
I'm glad. Well, I'm super glad that you have people around you that are at least making you laugh and keeping you.
yeah,
Do
he's
you
so funny.
have a time frame that you're going to be there? Like, what are they looking at?
Well, they said in 2 days supposedly, but I mean, looking at my condition now, I'm like, oh no, how am I supposed to heal in 2 days with this kind of cough?
Well, I was telling somebody the other day who was sick for like a week, and she was at home, and she's on here, Kelly Swenson. She was sick for a little while, and I was
Uh-huh.
telling her, so much healing is like many things, where it's like you have to recognize it slowly at first, and then all at once. Like it's like as you approach healing of any kind, like it's really slow going in the beginning, but then like once it catches on, it's like it just kind of falls forward.
It's like a
It's kind of
domino,
like,
domino
yeah,
effect.
like
Okay.
things slow, and then all of a sudden, it just collapses, and so hopefully they understand that, and they kind of know that, and like you'll probably make big strides in the next day and a half in your strength and stuff. Well, I'm hoping at least that that's the case, and I am sending energy your way to help you get through that.
Yeah, thank you. You know,
Absolutely.
it's so odd because when I came to this room, I'm like, is it normal that I see ladybugs?
Well, if you see ladybugs, I mean, what
No, there's like
the weird thing
this
about your question is normal. Like it is for you. Like if like you're seeing ladybugs, whether
in
it's
my
like there
room,
is
like
no
in my
normal.
room. There's one in my room right now. There was two the other day. I'm like,
Yes,
is
these are
it
your these are your spirit guides. Like, right, like these are your angels. They are with you.
interesting? Wow,
Yeah, that's all. Like anytime you notice something and you see it and you're like, huh, like that's yours. That is your gift. And
wow.
it's like especially when you get visitors. And
Mhm,
ladybugs are visitors. And ladybugs, like they're pretty powerful in our world. Like as children, we make wishes on them, and that's
mhm,
because they carry quite a bit symbolically. Like they are connected to the earth, right? So like their redness connects to our root chakra. Our root chakra connects to earth, and so like there is groundedness in the ladybug. Um, they also count, right? Like the number of spots they have is
oh, let me count. Let me count. Where are you? Okay.
so that just kind of is that like so they keep track of time in that way, right? So like not only are they connecting, they that is a symbol of connecting to the earth, but they also are keeping track of time. And so here you are in this space, you know um and yesterday you said there were two, and today there was one.
Yeah, well, the first day I was here, there was two, but they were on the
Oh,
wall, so I count the dots.
yeah. No, that's fine. Like like
Hi.
whether like maybe it like once again we were reading that Tao, like when you look you can't find, when you grasp you can't, when you reach you can't grasp, when you look you can't find. So like just noticing, just being present and noticing it, like that's the magic. The magic is being like, I am being held here and I am being visited.
I think there's like eight on each side.
Wow.
Yeah,
16.
yeah, I think so.
That's amazing.
I want to pet
Offer,
it.
offer,
It's
offer
funny.
that guy, offer that guy just a little love. Just be like, thank you. Just be grateful for his presence.
Just
That's
blowing
beautiful.
on it some love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in dwelling, live close to the ground, and thinking, keep to the simple. And I feel like, when you want to keep it to the simple, when you see butterflies or when you see ladybugs, asking the question, is it normal? Complex, it makes it complex.
Mhm.
When you see them and say, that's for me, then you keep it simple. That is just keeping it super simple and just being like, this is here present for me.
Yeah.
In work, do what you enjoy. In family life, be completely present. And these, like these may be, like your ancient guides. These may be family for you. And just be here present with your 16 spotted ladybug. Like, how beautiful is that? Like,
I know. It's like 8 is like my number. 8, 8.
oh,
I
then you got
often
eight
see.
twice. Oh man,
Yeah.
look at that. That is crazy. I didn't even recognize that 8 was the number that you had chosen. But
Yeah.
you are here present with 8 and with your ladybug buddy. When you are content to be simply
Yeah, I mean.
yourself and don't compare or compete, everybody will respect you.
Yeah. It's like, hi, you're just doing its thing.
Yeah. And it's here with you.
Yeah.
And how nice is that to get that kind of support?
Yeah, I think keeps
Oh, you
by.
broke up there. What's up?
Oh, sorry. Keeps going by the window. It's just standing, like, just walking around on the rail.
Mm, well, that's all right.
Yeah, it's fun. Is it
Yeah.
after
Now,
me?
now that's just yeah. And like you can observe, and if you don't observe, that's not bad. It's just you being present with you. Like just
Mm-hmm.
being here with your ladybug buddy.
Yep.
It reminds me of the song from I don't know if you know this song. I don't know how old you are, but I'm gonna guess I'm
30.
older. You're 30?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm 46. I'm a
What?
little
Okay.
older. And there was a song on Sesame Street when I was a kid, the Ladybug Picnic, and that's what keeps popping in my head, and I don't recall how it goes, but like the thing was at the Ladybug Picnic, and so that's kind of running through my head. What a beautiful way to like your 8 that you picked, and then to find a ladybug with 16 spots, and talk a little bit about like just being present and communicating and being here with your buddy, and I wish you all the best in your recovery, and that when you do that in 2 days you will get to that place of healing that will just regenerate you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, friend.
Mm.
Shout out to Mecca B.
Mecha B, I don't know.
Mecca B. Oh, he's actually a voice actor. He's a brilliant one.
Oh,
He
okay.
makes a lot of cool voices. I don't know what he was in, but he featured in a lot of work. So
Oh, cool. Maccabee
yeah,
Griffin. My guess is you were talking to somebody. You were shouting out to somebody in the audience. So
yeah.
I,
That's
I
him.
checked
That's
the
him.
audience and found him. Okay. I did not know. I don't think that he.
Yeah, follow him for more. Call him out and like have a discussion with him. He's awesome.
Oh yeah. Well, Maccabee, if you're out there and you wanna join, the Queen is about to expire and get back to her relationship with her new buddy.
Okay, I don't know what I can do much with this person. I mean, this spirit guide. Probably just talk to myself and then get some answers back. But yeah,
Yeah,
peace,
sometimes
everybody.
it's just great to ask the question. Just
Yeah.
ask the question and let it sit there. Thank you so much. Okay, so we've gone through 4 numbers. That is a beautiful day for me. I didn't get to pick one, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and skip that part, and we're going to move right on to whatever's next in my day. I will be on later today. What is it? 9:30 here Central Time. So in about 3.5 hours, I'll be coming on 1 p.m. Central, and I'll be doing an on recovery. Not exactly sure what my focus is going to be, but we are going to be talking about recovery. Me with my 21 years clean and sober, whatever. But we're going to be talking about recovering too. I always like to kind of focus on what is it you're recovering to? How do we recover ourselves? My name is Martin John. This is a Recover Yourself production. Join me at my workshop. I have a workshop coming up on Tuesday, 1 week from today, the 11th. Check out my website and social media for more information on that. Love you guys. Thank you for your support. Thank you for joining me on the Tao of the Day. It is such a joy for me to be able to present this. Once again, in 3.5 hours, I will be doing an on recovery. Love you. Have a wonderful day. And until next time, keep recovering yourself.